Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
All right. So we'll check this thing. This is the hyperring. This is what I was messing with it. So I started trying to program it about 10 minutes before 8. And actually the programming's easy. The thing is, I'm trying to figure out, these are the very early ones. So basically what you do, you have an app on your phone. Actually, I can show it. It's pretty cool. It's this app. It is the NFC Tools app. Let's see if you can see it. See, that's very easy. It just says NFC. You can't quite read it. There it is. NFC Tools. You can just go download it. It's the orange one. So everybody that plans on having a hyperring, just go to your app store and NFC Tools, the orange one. And then you take this thing and you basically write onto the ring with your phone. So you'll put them together. You'll put in a web address, and that web address will have a variety of things. So another place that I went is I went to, where's the website? I went to another one where you build your profile. It's called Linkle, Lynkle. So you can build a whole business card, basically. So that's what I thought. The first thing that would be cool would be like a business card. And you take the ring and you touch the phone and it recognizes there's 3 chips in each one. So I was programming one of them. And so then this little thing comes up that it's recognized it. See that little deal at the top? You click it and then your business card comes up and it's got all your cool stuff. I can't quite see it. I mean, a phone on camera is not great, but that's my whole business card. And it's got all my socials and it's got all my stuff. And that all just came from the ring, from tapping it. So that's kind of cool. And so different phones have different sensitivities. I'm just trying to figure out where, but I mean, I found that it was easier just to take the ring off. And the NFC chip on most phones is near the front facing camera. So you take the little ring and you just touch it and then the little tag comes up. And then you click on the tag, boop. And so it can be doing all sorts of cool stuff. So this is just one little basic one. I also have it programmed to go to Node Market. So that's on one of the other chips. Let's see, which one was that? I'm not sure which one. So there's 3 chips. You kind of program it. But they're also coming out with a kit, a developer kit that's going to, in about 6 weeks, that's going to make it even easier. And here, I'll show you guys so you can take a look at it. So this is the ring. Okay, it's a little bit better. See how it's got the 3 dots? And the dots correspond to the chips. On this one, there are 3. Some of them are going to have more. And this is just one of the versions. There's a few versions. This is pretty cool, though. It's black. See, you got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yay. And then you can see underneath. Can you read it? Can you read it? Can you read it? Hyperring. Trying to focus. Tricky. Anyway, so that is the hyperring. And they're pretty cool. And they're light. They're very durable, like whatever. And apparently These things last for like 300 years. You don't need to charge them. You don't need, and that way it's not an attack surface. No one's gonna, attack you at night from this is not an attack surface for your stuff. So I'm going to be using it once they get their developer kit. What's really important for me is I want to use this as a two-factor authentication in two ways. One, I want to have a ring. I'll probably have a couple, like one I keep in a safe, and program them both the same. But essentially, I want to have a ring that accesses Google Authenticator, where you can't even get to Authenticator without the ring. So that's essentially a 2FA for my 2FA. Then I want to have one that's got business cards, crap like that. So if you go to a party, you can be like, boop. They're like, hey, what do you, boop? What's your name? Boop. Like that. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm thinking there. So, okay. Yay. It's pretty badass. And I've been talking to Joy in the team. She's the CEO of that group of Hyperring, which is badass. And she's going to be working with us. So we're going to do a cool promotional thing to kind of further make it cool. I don't know what the price of these things is going to be, but I'm guessing it's not cheap. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know prices. Matter of fact, I could message her and say, hey, bro, what are the prices? And maybe she'll respond while we're doing this. Hey, comma, what are the likely prices for this retail? We'll see if she responds. She's online. Who knows? This is the beauty of live. That's not TV. Whatever we're doing. Whatever the hell we're doing. But anyway, that's Hyperring. And it's badass. And it's going to be really cool because they're going to have their dev kit and you'll be able to do all sorts of cool stuff. So Brandon and I got together and we're thinking of some shenanigans for you guys. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to do a little promo. You guys know that until compute starts, if you get two, here, let's go to the node market. If you get two of the node market NFTs, which I think we sold a few last night. If you get two of them, you get two or an even number, you get a matching number of hypercycle node licenses. So if you got 2 or you got 4 or you got 8 or you got 368, whatever, you get matching hypercycle node licenses that you can then marry with tokens and you'll be able to deploy if you wanted to into hypercycle compute or turn around and sell them. You want to be a seller? Be a seller. Whatever you want to do, you get them. Yay. So if you get 3, this will be the promo. So 2, and you get two hypercycle node licenses for 2 node market NFTs. If you get 3, we also are going to send you a ring. And I talked to Brandon about maybe having it coded like so that you can click and it would just open up node market, whatever, or even like digital investor, you could do that. Or we may leave them blank. And Brandon's going to do some videos where he'll teach people how to program these things. It's pretty simple. Like I did it. Joy was telling me how to do it over text and I got it done in the space of making this, God, I don't even know what damn flavor this one's supposed to be. But anyway, this coffee that's mostly creamer. So it's pretty cool. All right. So there's that. So it's here, I'll write it on the little banner and then we can get to your questions. Let me write it. The 3 for 3. I don't know what we would call that. 3 for ring promotion. 3 for ring. And then I'll just say 3 node market NFTs. See if people can read it, then they won't say that they don't understand. Gets you an additional 2 hypercycle node licenses plus a brand new Hyperring, which we would have to mail to you. So you get it. All right. Yay. Boop. Okay. And if you ever, I'm learning it as you guys are learning it. We've been in the development phase for a long time, but only just recently we've been able to play with them. Toofy had them, and so now we can start playing with them. Pretty cool. And eventually, I see these things potentially as a way to, when you get in your car, to unlock, let's say, a driver profile. So let's say you have a profile where you have all your settings and that kind of stuff, and you also have like privacy settings. Like in one of my cars, it says it will sense if someone's sitting in the passenger seat, and it will then initiate privacy settings, meaning there's someone else in the car. So don't show anything on any of the screens that might be proprietary or private. Isn't that badass? It's like it knows. Anyway, I thought this would be cool. So the people at Hyperring are going to be in discussions with the people at Rolls-Royce about using the Ring for all sorts of cool things. Because, you have, everybody's got an app for their car now, and it has all sorts of information. It'd be cool if you needed this to get to that. So just other ways to keep your life safe. But I want to use this as 2FA for MetaMask. I want to use it for wallets, all that kind of stuff. Oh, she just replied. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. So the final, so these are demo ones where we're all testing with. The final product, so we don't know really what the price is going to be, but the demos are ones that they're just kind of trying to get into circulation. So we'll be, everybody here will be part of that whole test group. The final editions will be over $1,000, but some of those are going to have like gems and rubies and diamonds and all that. Those probably would be more expensive. Anyway, so there's like luxury cool guy versions of them. And then there's like basic salt of the earth. That's me, salt of the earth. That's the kind I would have. So anyway, cool. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to be getting you some rings. Yay, rings. All right. Let's go ahead and knock out some questions. I'm going to stay away from investment advice. We just not going to do that, but we will do kind of grander 10,000 foot. Oh no. Get back to my thing. 10,000 foot kind of discussion. All right. So let me see. Bill asks, have any other coins come up your sleeve other than Uni and Jupiter? I looked at Akash a while back. It just didn't look that interesting. It looked kind of, I don't know, spammy. There's so many companies saying they're AI, saying they're big data, and they're not that. It just didn't look that interesting. I look at these things. I want to make money too, but I look at it from the lens of, do I want to divert resources from other assets into these assets? And it's tricky when you're going into a bull market. Everything's going to go up. Invariably, you're going to guess the things that didn't go up as much as somebody else's 8 things. People are going to post, I'm making all these gains, and but you're not. But that's unrealistic because, or actually, it's not a true statement because it's not like people put all their money into one asset. So you have a basket of assets that you're managing, and you want them to do the most upward trajectory with the least amount of stress. So you have to balance that. Everybody's got to balance that with themselves. So is it maybe a lottery ticket? Might it do really good? I don't know. And so that's when I look at these things, if they don't stand out as being really exciting, it's just like an expansion team in the NFL. Like, oh God, so what? Like, where did they scrape up another 50-man roster from? Bush League? Like, I don't know. And so that's the problem is the really good scientists are already on projects, the really good computer scientists, the really good, distributed data, the really good game theorists, they're already on projects that have been here for years. So these new projects with people that are like, I just got out of college, I'm going to build crypto. Like, I don't know, man. You don't even know how to get out of your credit card debt. And now you're launching a token. I don't know. But you get in bed with the right VCs and all that kind of stuff. What you probably should do is any of these new tokens that you're interested in, start looking up if there's any VC activity, any public VC activity. Also look what VCs have funded them. That'll give you an idea. If it's the same creeps that funded Solana, that'll tell you one thing. If it's the people that gave money to Three Arrows and Luna and Gemini and all these other jerk bags that steal all your stuff. I'd be careful. So, the team is pretty important. So yeah, nothing super exciting this second. Okay. Let me get down to some questions. Actually, we could probably throw the markets up in the background. You know what? I'll start from the back and work our way up. Let's see. Bought 4 NFTs. Oh, Terrence, you know what? No, but yes. But you have to make a decision. You bought 4 NFTs. So this will be good. This is a mental. You can either have, and obviously discuss this with Brandon. He may have already sent you. If he already sent you 4 Hypercycle node licenses, then that would probably be that you got that. But this would be, you could do 2 and 1 because the odd number gets you 2 and 1. If you did 5, you would get a ring and 4 NFTs. You can just do it however, any odd number. Maybe that's the easier way to do it. Any odd number of NFTs, you will get a ring as a cherry on top of your node licenses. You see, what we're doing is trying to spread the goodwill of the Hypercycle ecosystem and all of its various and sundry partners, because the more people using these things is eventually more compute running across Hypercycle rails. I mean, this doesn't run on Hypercycle, right? There's no Hypercycle tokens embedded in this, but these will all support transactions that may in the future run across Hypercycle rails. Because remember, the whole layer 0 part of it is not really something that the Hypercycle team has been discussing. They're really focused right now on building that ecosystem. As many of the components that live in the world of AI compute, right? Building in the path of progress, infrastructure. That's how people get rich. Infrastructure. This morning on we had a conference call, and Tufi said, "Okay, everybody, talk about what you like most about Hypercycle." And people had all their cool answers, and mine was like, "I like to sell people picks and shovels in the path of progress. This is how people have gotten wealthy forever." And I'm not wealthy, but I'm not. And it's all been infrastructure investment, like all of it. And if you're building if you're building in the path of progress, by the time people show up, Joe Sixpack that's watching reality TV and doing all sorts of stupid stuff, by the time Joe Sixpack catches up, you're on to the next part of the road in the path of progress, and they're buying up your old stuff, which is new for them. And if you're really good, you're selling to early adopters. So that is also good. So you want to build in the path of progress, and you want to sell what you built in the path of progress. Yes. Steam engines, steamships, engines, roads, railways, power lines, picks and shovels at the gates of the gold mines. Oh, you want a crazy, weird story? A buddy of ours has land rights to property where the Spanish, he did a bunch of research. The Spanish were in the United States. I don't know if I should say where it is. I'll say this. It's somewhere in California. That's all I'll say. Kind of near Nevada. But anyway, and essentially there's gold in there. They basically were mining it. It got capped or whatever they do with like a gold mine. They kind of try to obscure it. The government found out that there was gold there, and they can't prevent him they can't say he can't go on his property. So what they did is they took like a big swath of like many miles around his property and made it government property, parks and recreation, and then you can't trespass. So they won't let people go. So they won't let him go to his property to get his gold, which may or may not be there. And it's like, well, He can fly in a helicopter, okay, but he can't get equipment in there and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure the Chinese would like build like tunnels underneath and all that. But anyway, just thought you can have a literal gold mine, and when people just don't want you to win, you just don't want. This is why the crypto space makes so much sense. Oh, of course it's theft. It's absolute theft. The government stealing from us? That's outrageous. Just the notion. Okay. Can I use the R token in a married node license to direct 99% of the earnings on that hypercycle to other people? Yes. That's what the revenue token is. So you'll be given each one, I think it's 1,000. I think you get 1,000. So each one is like 0.1% or 10 basis points on. So yeah, you could give 990 of the R tokens. Again, assuming that's the way it plays out. 990 of those R tokens, the revenue tokens. So for those of you that are kind of like, what the smoke? When you merge, when you have a hypercycle license and you marry it and you create a hypercycle, you get a basket of assets. And part of that is allowing you to compute. So you're marrying 1,024 tokens with one hypercycle license or multiples of that. You marry them together and they can now participate in the compute and all that kind of cool stuff, meaning they will become a little data center that will process AI transactions between AI machines, and you are one little gear in the internet of AI. There's many gears, you are one of them, and you get paid for that, little microtransactions that add up. So you will get 2 tokens along with the basket of other assets. One is an R token, which stands for revenue. One is an S token, which essentially is the security side of it, meaning the actual ownership in the equity of it. But you might sell people or trade people the revenue tokens. There's a variety of reasons you might do that. The S token would be, I have a 50-50 business partner. So I give them half of the S tokens. They own half. They get half. The revenue may be diverted in different ways based on where you direct your compute power, or where, like if you direct your nodes to somebody else that's running compute, you're going to have to break them off a little bit of revenue and this and that. So depending on how they have that structured, yeah. So that's what the S and the R tokens. For most people, it's never going to be an issue. You're not going to mess with it. But they wanted to build in all of this dexterity into the system in the beginning, not as an afterthought, like, oh crap, what if someone wants to sell part of their business? Because when these things are up and running, you know, it's too late. So yeah, they're building all that in at first. Let's see. Okay, is there only one size of the demo hyperrings? Yes, but you just keep going until you find a finger it fits on. Like this one, too tight. This one, just right. Too tight. Not bad. Little loose. Just right. So yeah. Okay, how would you convert the R token to USDC? Will Node Market do this? No. Listen, Node Market is facilitating all of this stuff. You don't convert the R token to USDC. What you're doing is you're just saying in which direction revenue that's generated would go. Imagine it just like this. I'm going to give it 3 email addresses. I mean, this is not what it is, but just keep this in your mind like this. I'm going to give it 3 email addresses. I'm going to divide up the revenue by 50% and then 2 buckets of 25%. So this guy gets 50% and these 2 girls get 25% each. Whatever revenue is generated, it will then be sent in those directions. Does that make sense? Now, no, it's not an email, but it's not much more complicated than that. I believe, but I am not certain, but I believe revenue is paid in USDC. That's the way I think it works, but you may have a choice. You may be able to get paid in USDC or hypercycle tokens, although I don't see in the long run that paying in hypercycle tokens makes sense from hypercycle's perspective, because they want to have those tokens out as eventually as nodes, right? They want to, every token would eventually be, after several mitosis splits, be a node after about 5 to 7 years, let's say. So there you go. Yay. Okay. Yes, it would go into the wallet that you would designate, which is super cool. Well, a lot of people, including I probably will end up wearing this not as a ring, but as a necklace, because it looks kind of cool as a necklace. It doesn't look like anything super special, and no one would really notice if I just hold my phone up to my chest. Boop, especially if it was under. Oh, it worked. Did it work? Yeah. See, and that was just holding it up to right here. So there you go. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I will probably have mine as a necklace. You could also have it on a keychain. I don't really wear jewelry. I mean, I guess if I had one that was all blinged out with jewels and stuff, I don't know if I'd wear that too. I'm not a jewelry guy. I have a fancy ass Rolex, but you see, do I wear it? No, man. Got my little old Apple Watch here, which I really like because you can check your email, you check your text messages. Yeah. But yeah, I think the necklace thing is cool. You could have it like on a cool, like silver or like a little gold necklace if you're fancy. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, let me go up. Let me see if what we've missed. Can I use the art? We got that. Or node. Yep, we got that. Question. Okay. Dow down 1,600 over the last 5 days. Why? Because I mean, the reality is kicking in. All of these companies are coming forward and saying things are not good. Target, bad. Walmart, the news is bad. Who else? I mean, there's lots of companies that came forward. I mean, Target got good news. Target got bad news. Best Buy, bad news. A lot of companies, bad news. So this is the thing. You can lie about the markets. If you're a politician or a banker, you can lie about the markets all you want. However, at some point, you can't bake the quarter. And at some point that data is going to come in. And if people aren't buying, they aren't buying. You can't, fake that. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Why is this not charging? Charge, son of a B. Oh yeah, this charging. So, this kind of pretend and extend philosophy, pretend there's nothing wrong and just extend your guidance to the next quarter. That works for a couple of quarters. And then people go, wait, you guys promised all this crap. What happened? Why is your company getting your ass kicked on these quarters? Because you can't print prosperity. You can't manufacture prosperity. So if people aren't buying, they're not buying. So it's starting to come in. So the not in, you keep hearing not in an election year from talking heads, alternatives, hyperinflation. Now, hyperinflation is not likely. Remember, hyperinflation is massive month-on-month inflation for a prolonged period of time. Pervasive. So that's not super likely. Default risk, government default risk, no, because the government can't default if they're the printer of the currency. Now the currency can crash and all these kinds of things, and yes, you can have credit rating downgrades and all this, but these credit rating agencies they get paid by the same people they rate. So how honest do you think they're going to be? Were they super honest in 2007 and 2008? Nope. Do you expect them to be honest now? Nope. So I'm not so frustrated about that. And also, we just talked about it the other day. The stock market is not the market. The stock market's not the economy. And so the kinds of things that would push, Federal Reserve bankers, I don't call them central bankers because the Federal Reserve is not a central bank. It's a consortium of banks that are not federal. They're privately owned. They have their own mandate. Part of that is to respond to questions and queries from Congress and to maintain maximum employment and price stability, but not too much employment. So they say maximum employment. They're like, well, we want to keep unemployment, at or around 4 to 5%. Like, what? You're like, yeah, sometimes we have to have more unemployment because the market's getting too hot. Bunch of Phillips curve bull crap. So anybody who wants to be a central banker, all you need is 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, everyone. If you can say 2, 3, 4, you get to be a central banker, and you get to be a central banker. 2% inflation, targeted inflation. 3% CPI, 4% unemployment. If you can just copy that like a parrot, you are qualified to be a central banker. Of course, you're going to need a healthy career of insider trading and skullduggery. But if you can also do that, you may need to lie to Congress and to the U.S. taxpayers on a regular basis. But if you can just add that to your repertoire, you're going to be awesome. No, so what's going to happen with the rings? As far as I understand, you'll get the demo one to play with, and we'll get all bad at. I mean, the demo one is a real one. It's just not the heavy metal one with gemstones and fine jewels, and also a full developer kit and all this kind of stuff. So you're going to get this one, and then everybody that has one of these is going to get kind of a, shall we say, better rate than other people. So you'll get a discounted rate on whatever the next iteration is. Yeah, that's how that will work. So don't cry for me, Andy Tina. Get it? Like Argentina? You're welcome. Spitting out pearls here. Is Rolls-Royce one of the hypercycle partnerships? No. And also wouldn't be one of anybody that partners with HyperRing. That would be a HyperRing partnership. Hypercycle does own equity in HyperRing, but Hypercycle doesn't own HyperRing. HyperRing is a joint venture. Does that make sense? So HyperRing will have its own partnerships and its own management structure and executive staff and all that kind of stuff. It's just that we're all buddy buddies. Yeah. So, and those connections are being made between HyperRing and Rolls-Royce as we speak. Boop. All right. What else we got? Will you be able to program it for 2FA for MetaMask? Yeah. So they're releasing they're putting a kit together. Matter of fact, she told me this morning. Let me pull up that string of communication. She said, she told me what apps to get, said that they're building they have a kit coming. Linkle. I'm just looking through all the links. Yeah, so they're building a kit. They're building a full kit. Let me see if she said exactly what she basically gave a timeline. Oh, yeah. We're developing the full MFA app in about 6 weeks. So yeah. Yep. So it'll be much. Now we will probably have a link to all that kind of stuff at Node Market, because that's where you would want to mess with it. So yeah, we'll good. And we're going to do videos that explain it. And I mean, invariably people are going to be like, my phone doesn't do this and doesn't do it. They all work. It all works. Mine, for when I was messing with it at the very beginning, it wasn't writing. It just said writing error. But I was moving my finger away too quick. And when I just left my finger there on the phone, it then wrote correctly. And it gives you this little screen that says written, yay, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. And yes, that 3-for-1 or whatever odd numbered summer promotional, I don't know, whatever we want to call it, that will be, yes, we will, that'll be now. I guess I should probably change it to like, say, odd number thing. 3 no market. Yeah, maybe I should just change it. I'm going to make it say odd for ring, 3 or some odd number of Node Market NFTs get you. Okay. Look at us in real time, making adjustments. Okay. Let's get back to your questions. Do we know what it is primarily made of? Yeah, it's plutonium, iridium, and adamantium, like the claws that Wolverine has. So there's a good chance you will have some superpowers and shoot webs from your hand. Just saying. I don't. That is not a fact-based assessment. Some will be made of metal. Some will be made of this like hard plastic. This one's like really hard plastic. Like it's pretty light. It's hard plastic, which I like because metal scratches stuff and plastic doesn't. Like I can scrape my ring across my computer and nothing. Not that I would do that, but I could do that. Oh, that's an interesting question. I wonder. I was wondering if my computer, if I touch the computer with it. Anyway, so much fun experimentation to have. Yeah. So these are like hard plastic. The ones that have gemstones in them and stuff like that, obviously they're going to be metal because you're going to be set in that. And I think that there's like I've seen some cool white ones that have like a bunch, like 8 chips in it, 8 or 10 chips. This one has 3. And you would like put it. And also you could imagine, wouldn't it be cool if your 2FA took 3 steps where you had to go like 2, 3, 1, 3, like you had to have a pattern? That'd be cool. Anyway, white paint on the dots. You could do that with a crayon, dude. You could just scrape it. You know that old trick, like scrape it and then wipe it down. That would probably be kind of cool. Okay, you've given me an idea. I'm going to get out my Crayolas. I'm going to do the white. You know, you just go like with wax, right? You just go whoop, and then you just wipe it down, and it's in there. Cool, right? Okay, yes. Okay, we've gotten that one. Let's see if there's any macro related questions. 503 error. Sorry. Okay. All right. So I think we've nailed all those basic questions. 1 is an odd number. Yes, 1 is an odd number. You know, 1 is an odd number. Technically, I guess we're going to leave it at 3 for now. I'll talk to Brandon. We're going to leave it at 3. Maybe 1. Maybe we should just do any odd number. I'll let the public vote. If you guys vote on an odd number, I would probably go through with it. There's going to be a lot of mailing of things and headaches. Maybe we say 3. I don't know. We're going to have to really think about that. I don't know how near field communication chips work. I think they're essentially recognized by the device, and the device is powered. So the phone is powered. There's no battery in these bad boys. So the way I don't think it's like an RFID chip, which holds a certain amount of charge just up to the threshold of a transaction. And then any little bit of extra energy fires off the RFID chip. That's how those work. This is an NFC near field communication chip where when presented to an NFC chip recognizing technology, it will see that that's there and it will read it in close proximity. Odd number above 1. Yeah, I think that's the way we look at it. Can you wear it in the shower? Yes. You can even wear it in the swimming pool, and you can wear it in a saltwater swimming pool. I know this because yesterday, me and my buddy Diego had them, and they got wet. They were in the water, but there's nothing to pierce. There's no seam. These are embedded inside. Now, yeah, prime numbers. Okay. How can you do 2FA on MetaMask wallet on a PC browser? Well, one, your 2FA would be Google Authenticator, which would be on your device here. So if it was part of your Google 2FA, right? Like if it was to access your 2FA, then you would need the ring to access the 2FA on the phone to access the website that you're accessing through your browser. So it would be a 3FA, but essentially this would gate your 2FA number spitting mechanism, if that makes sense. Yeah, that kind of stuff is cool. There's going to be a bunch of, and these things are going to get more complicated and complex and all that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, it's NFC is really cool. Transition from the old kind of RFID. I like the idea of RFID having chips all over the place, like for stores to say, oh, go throw away these eggs, they're too old, and all that kind of stuff. I think probably just visual monitoring with AI, it may also be better because you could just, instead of putting physical devices everywhere, you could just manage the whole situation. And if a sufficiently complex AI system was watching a store, it would know when goods were coming and going, and it would know, oh, based on what went through the register, these things should be old. Therefore, the ones that are here are marked bad. You need to throw them away. You can imagine a robot with that information just going through and restocking and supplying and getting rid of old wilted produce. Of course, they don't get rid of them. What they do is they then sell them to Erewhon, where rich assholes think that they're getting a special deal on organic because it's brown. Erewhon, what a racket. I'm never paying those dudes $30 for a flippin' burrito. Anyway. What if you could use the ring to scan each item to put in your cart and allow payment? So no cashier. Well, the ring wouldn't be a scanner, but it's not to say that you wouldn't have who knows, right? Like there's all sorts of use cases that will spin out of this new idea of just being able to interact in real time with these devices. And I mean, you could see a future where these chips get smaller, and I mean, who knows, people getting chipped and all that kind of stuff, and animals getting chipped. Both of my kitties have chips so that you can scan them and know who they are. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And on the designer and the luxury ones, yeah, there'll definitely be a sizing thing so that you get the correct size and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, because people want what they want. Okay. So there we go. Why don't we take a look at markets and see if we see anything super exciting? Again, we're not going to talk about specific investments, but we will just talk about the greater space. For those of you who don't know, BlackRock did submit their updated S1 filing late yesterday. So expect them to be one of the first out of the gate. So BlackRock, of course. I don't know why every single time, I have to go to here. Every time I update, even just refresh the page, Live Coin Watch wants to push me out and make me re-log in. Total dick move. Okay, let's go down to here. Oh, actually, you know what? We want to do this one so we don't block the screen. Let's go to favorites. Oh, let's go to our best layout. And that's where this little layout tab lets you build and save a layout. I use Digital Investor Layout. Yay. Boop. And here we are. So the Bitcoin is up. Total market 2.5. So we're right around 2.6 trillion is the total market, of which 1.3 of it. So I mean, think about it. Half of all of crypto is Bitcoin. Someone was asking me yesterday, what are my friends trying to get into the crypto? What do I tell him? Like, you probably don't tell him anything, man. If he doesn't understand it, you don't want to be the one responsible for leading him in. But if grandma had to spend $100, probably wouldn't hurt grandma to have some Bitcoin and some Ethereum. Beyond that, it's unrelenting down on the ground. It's messy down there. But yeah, so these are the stalwarts. There is spot and futures indices, spot cash settled and futures indices for Bitcoin. There will soon be spot cash settled and futures indices. There's already futures and cash settled ETFs for Ethereum. Then there'll be spot, which again, why spot? Because it makes the funds hold Ethereum. It makes the funds hold Bitcoin. Why is that important? Because it's not just proxy ownership. They're not just gambling on the price. They actually have to own it. They have to have skin in the game. Who owns it? Well, not them. It's usually Coinbase custody. Is that an issue? Well, I don't know. With Ethereum, it's going to be interesting. It means that a lot less tokens would be utilized for staking, probably, unless there's some provision where, and I think there will be some adjustments where there would be enough tokens locked up in these ETFs that are not participating in staking, meaning they're not participating in the propagation of transactions for the network, that could actually end up being a heightened risk of security on the network. Less validators, less security. So I'm sure that those adjustments will be made in time, and Ethereum ETFs will be staking, and then there'll be some dividend. And once there's a dividend, okay, so if you could own an Ethereum ETF and get paid a dividend of 3, 5, 7%, that thing's gonna take off. I mean, imagine these ETFs paying a dividend. Ooh, buddy. And if they really wanted to incentivize it, instead of paying every quarter, what if they paid once a month? What if they had 12 dividend payments and it was just dividend reinvestment? What if they had 12 dividend payments a year? Because it happens like every 3 days. That's like with Coinbase, you get your dividend payments, dividends. You get your whatever they call it, staking rewards. I think it's 3.7% or something like that, if it's that high, but you get it every 3 days. I always look and see, like, did I make anything or am I just a sucker? But, you know, it's better than nothing since I'm not moving it. So you could imagine a scenario like that. That'd be quite interesting. So again, yes and yes. Everything else is a gamble, all the way down the list. And so you just have to kind of decide, oh, look at Arweave, again, with its spammy, antithetical. Again, Arweave is an awesome company, but the price action is incredibly suspicious. Like, really, really suspicious. I don't know. All right. Algorand. Wah, wah. Jupiter, interesting. Down today. Yeah, we're just going to be sloppily moving side to side, I believe. Oh, NewNet down. That's weird. I guess not having a product leaves you exposed to the vacillations of a bunch of other assets with no product. No product, no product, no product. Product. No product, no product. Product. Kind of product. Spammy product. Yeah. So there, that's it. What's going on in the markets? Not much. Everything's kind of flat, cool. We're still waiting. I think the FIT 21 bill is a big deal. And I think when that goes through, that's a lot. Yeah, you see some of those articles. They're like so-and-so coin is crushing. They use these big words. It's crushing. It's exploding. It's up 4.1%. Like, what? That's not exploding. It's mooning, up 3.6% in the last 12 months. That's not mooning, man. That's not what a moon is. 3.1% a minute. That's mooning. 3.1% a day, a month. That ain't no moon. You know what a moon looks like. Yeah, Algorand is a dumpster fire. Yep. Crap is crap. Doesn't matter how much cool underlying tech you have. That's why we do the 5 T's. Someone was beating me up in an email. Weight the 5 T's. I'm like, I have weighted them. Every one of them. You give them a 1 to 5. 1 to 5. You score them. What's the weighting? The weighting is 1 to 5. You score it. Yeah, but what's the most important? There's not a most important. They're all the most important, and that's why you weight them 1 to 5. And then you get a number. And if that number is high enough, it's investable. And if it can reach, you think, use utility and wide scale adoption, cool, it's on the list. If you don't, maybe it's a trade, maybe not. For me, the number is I do my 5 T's, and then I say, okay, if it's 18 or better, it's investable, meaning it's something that I would hold for a year or more, and that I think in a perfect scenario has a chance of doing a 10x. If it doesn't have a chance of doing a 10x, and I wouldn't hold it for a year, and the number is, and the total score on the 5 T's is, say, 15 or better. You got to at least be a 15. If it's not a 15, I ain't touching it. And so then I would tell myself, okay, well, it's a trade. It's probably, I'm going to hold it for 12 months or less, 12 seconds up to 12 months. And I'm not looking for a 10x multiplier now. I'm looking for something 2 or better, a double. Get me back on house money. And usually on these things, I kind of look for, if they're like a 15, I'll look for like a 3x. I'll get my money off the table and I'll just kind of let it ride. I like to get a little bit extra, but whatever. So there you go. Cardano would announce ADA ETF. Well, they can't. It doesn't work that way. Cardano can't announce anything. It would have to be one of these hedge funds filing applications. And I don't think we're going to see. I mean, it seems pretty clear that the Ethereum ETFs were all going to be denied, mostly, at least until August, except that something changed. It looks like Gary Gensler got the phone call. I just don't know if the phone call was from BlackRock or was from the White House. Maybe both. Maybe the same call. Anyway, he got the call and all of a sudden they turned. That's why they had nothing prepared. Seems like. So a Cardano ETF, it doesn't make sense it just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because not enough people use Cardano, and most people seem to hate Charles Hoskinson, even though I think he's pretty cool. But he can go on his weird rant paths sometimes. So maybe he wants to get that in check. But as far as governance goes, GitHub submits, actual use utility, Cardano is the best, hands down. It blows them all away, except that I really like the way Cosmo Station, the wallets work. They're very fast, very elegant, very efficient. I think it's a much easier experience than Daedalus. Daedalus is pretty cumbersome, but and that's for Cardano. However, you have everything right there. You have all the tools you need right there. Daedalus wallet is very robust. And again, maybe it's just about overbuilding it to prepare for all of the dexterity it might need in the future. Great. That's cool. Except that people just aren't using Cardano. Governments aren't onboarding to Cardano, and all of these things, that Charles says, they don't quite come to fruition. He made, like all the promises with Midnight Token and all that. And then suddenly like, oh, that's not me. It's this other company, and that they're the ones working on it. I can't make promises. Bitch, you said we were all going to get dust. Dust was the tokens. Staking rewards in dust. He just flat out said it. And then he just kind of unsaid it. You can't unsay shit. It's the internet. Everything lives forever, stupid. So man, come on, Charles, get your crap together. So it's unfortunate, but it's the same thing with Algorand. Awesome protocol, terrible team, really bad team, like the worst team. So is there any kind of future where Algorand does good? Who knows? I'm sure somewhere in the many worlds theory, there's got to be at least one of the many worlds where Algorand did well, just not this one, or any of the closely proximal many worlds, many universes, many, M-A-N-Y, not many, like M-I, not like little universes, the many, the multitudiverse. It's just that I've looked far and wide. I actually called the other multiverses and I asked them. Dr. Strange opened up a phone line for me, and none of them could confirm that Algorand did good. Isn't that weird? None of them. In all of the infinite possibilities that there could be, where everything is possible given the laws of physics, in none of them did Algorand do good. Crazy. You can thank Dr. Strange for that. Does the same rules apply to crypto as it does in stocks? As in a stock price should be over $5 for ETF? Wait, what do you mean, PJ? I think you're crossing some wires. Stock price should be over $5 for ETFs, hedge funds. Oh, you mean like, is there a minimum price? No, I don't think there's a minimum price. But normally they're not going to, it's penny tokens are not going to be considered because they look too, childish and flippant and all this kind of, they look too much like meme coins. Something that's a penny or 2 cents, it's not likely to have enough moxie in the market. Remember, regular market investors, they don't want penny crypto plays. They don't want penny stocks. So there may be, hey kitty, there may be something, but that's why there's only 2 ETFs. There's only 2 cash settled ETFs, and one of them's not even out yet. Bitcoin and Ethereum. And for the meantime, listen, they may not be all the ETFs we want, but they might be all the ETFs we need for now to get us into this next bull phase. So that I believe when Fit 21 gets through Senate, which I believe it will, that's going to begin the actual bull market, the $3 trillion bull market. Yeah, I remember the A's, man. I remember the A's. Algorand, AGIX, Atom, ADA. Well, at least I can't complain. I got over a 10x there. I got almost a 20x there. At one time, it was like a 300x. So that did good. Fetch, everybody's gotten 10x's, multiples, 10 to 20x. Cosmos, I did not do well on. I'm above break even. I think I got into Cosmos at like $6 or something, but it hasn't done much. But I have gotten a couple years of staking. So then you minus out the bad years. I'm probably up 50% when you count staking, which is not a crypto win, but it's a win. Kitty, what? God, what? The door's open, dude. Come here. Come here. Here, baby. Push. Push. Convincing this kitty to push the door open. Push. She just gave up. She's like, F you. Big doors. So yeah. The A's all had really good, they have really good teams, except the Algorand team is good at math and nothing else. The Cosmos team is great. It's just no one cares. What? Bubba, come here. Come here. Push. Yes. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Come here. You want to say hi? Oh, come here. Oh, you don't get to push the door open and then not say hi. Oh, want to say hello? Oh, yeah. Here, say hello. Say hello. Want to say hello to people? Oh. Look, she's getting the microphone in her. Hi, Bubba. What do you think? What are you investing in? You investing in moving the microphone? That's what she's investing in. This is Voodoo. No. Go, cause trouble. She goes out and chews grass and eats it and throws it up. Cats love to throw up grass. Anyway, yeah. So just be smart when you're looking at these markets. Be smart. Always be looking for things that satisfy the 5 T's, and then have the chance for use, utility, and wide scale adoption. There's going to be a lot of quality assets that never go anywhere. That's just the nature of technology. Not every winner is a winner. Okay, Freddie, sorry, joined late. I purchased Hypercycle license. Those tilling at only 970. Why not hours reflecting 8 months? You purchased, probably it should be. I don't know. That's a Brandon question. That's a Brandon question. I'm sure they can get that resolved. But if it was from back then, if you purchased it back then you should have a lot longer tilling time, likely, very likely. So yes, I'm sure Brandon can take a look at it. All right. I think we'll call it a day. So yeah, woo woo. And you know what? For the time being, whoa, let's drop that. Cool. But luckily you can drop it. It won't break anything. Yeah. Of course you didn't buy it in October of 2024 because we're not there yet, unless you time traveled. You rye son of a gun. Kitty, stop it, baby. Now she wants to be on screen all the time. See, she's a she's a fame whore, this cat. She loves it. Anyway, stay in school. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys. And yeah, for further notice, 3 or some other odd number gets you some cool stuff. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor, insolvent, drunk, struggling on meth grandmother wouldn't do. Oh, real quick. Let me tell you about something. This is a little aside. For those of you that are consultants, there's a company called Mimet. Let me get the spelling right. It's M-I-N-N-E-C-T, like connect, Minect. There's an app. You set it up, and if you're a consultant, and those of you, if you consult in anything, then you're a consultant. Hi, Bubba. Thank you for that little kiss. If you consult, then you set up an account as an expert. You set your price per like 15 minutes that you're willing to either get on the phone or have like a consulting session with people. And I mean, I made mine real expensive. She's a Lynx and a Savannah hybrid. Okay. All right, Kitty. This is her thing now. This is Kitty's new thing. She's like, I'm like a circus cat. Yeah. So Minect, Minnect, and you set up your profile, set your price. Like I had set mine to $1,000 every 15 minutes. But obviously you don't have to do that, but you can set your price to whatever you want. And then if you allow people either to contact you, text you, or whatever. And then she's very happy because her tail's fluffy. If her tail's fluffy and going slow, she won't bite you. If it's narrow and going really fast, she's gonna open you up. And that's what Kitty do. What are you doing, Bubba? Time to get down. Off you go. Yeah. So anyway, Minect. For those of you that are consultants, check it out. There you go. All right. And on that note, we'll see you tomorrow.